northeastern part, and I'm happy to be joined with my colleague from the northwestern part, Ms. Capter, to talk about these issues. And I think as I sat here and I listened, whether it was California or whether it was Connecticut or whether it's Ohio, I think the number one issue facing the country right now is the income inequality. And it is now just starting to percolate up as the number one issue. Greatest inequality in this country since the Great Depression. I know many of us have been talking about this for a long, long time, to where we've had 30 years of stagnant wages in the United States. And there is no way that we're going to be able to continue to be the leader of the free world, or really even have the kind of country that we want, if we have this kind of level of inequality. And there are issues that come before the House of Representatives. There are issues that the President is continuing to push that will help rectify this problem that is not getting any attention at all in the House of Representatives, whether it's the American Jobs Act, which would put people back to work, infrastructure, roads, bridges, get that 20% unemployment within the construction trades, or 18 or 19 or whatever it may be, and drive it down. The China currency bill, passed by the Senate with well over 60 votes to pass it, passed the House of Representatives last year, had 99 Republicans, 350 total votes, and we can't get a vote in the House of Representatives to take on the Chinese.
Explain to us what the Chinese currency bill is all about.
Well, the currency, they're manipulating their currency. They're devaluing it so that the exports coming into the United States are artificially cheaper than they would normally be, already with benefits of no EPA, no OSHA, no regulations. But in addition to that, they manipulate their currency, devalue it to make those exports even cheaper, landing on the shores of the United States. Now, all of these unfair trade practices have cost the United States 2.8 million jobs in the last 10 years. 1.9 million of those are manufacturing, and 100,000 in Ohio. When manufacturing jobs pay more, there's more intellectual property spin-off, better benefits, better pension. All of this comes together with an issue that we're facing back in Ohio, and a philosophy in the country that is basically saying, if the middle class just made a little bit less, the country would be better off. We'd finally fix these problems. And that's what's happening with SB 5 and Issue 2 in Ohio, where we have a Republican administration taking on the teachers, the police, and the fire and saying they make too much money. And it's because of them that we have these huge budget issues, when really they're the last bastion of the middle class. And they run into burning buildings, and they go out and they take care of us when we're in a dangerous situation, or they teach our kids, or they clean the public restrooms, or they clean the restrooms in the schools. These are people who serve us, all of us as a country. And for us to continue to go down the path of, we got to dismantle the middle class, we've got to dismantle the unions, we've got to cut programs like Pell Grants or food stamps, or things that help us invest, or keep interest rates high on student loans, or cut funding for the National Institutes of Health, National Science Foundation. This is not a recipe for success. This is a recipe for the destruction of the middle class. These are investments we've always made as a country that have benefited us. And to say to these police and fire and teachers and public employees, you're making too much money, you're part of the problem, when they're making $30,000, $35,000 a year, is ridiculous. And the policies coming out of Washington and the House of Representatives, we don't even have the courage to take on China. To say maybe we'll drive some manufacturing jobs back in the United States, create some wealth back in the United States so these local communities have money to fund their police and fire. This is what we've always done. And one final point, you're starting to see it percolate. You saw it in Wisconsin. The coalition in Ohio now against this issue too is incredible. Police, fire, teachers, public employees, building trades, auto workers, machinists, average people, all coming together to say, this is the middle class. And we've had it up to here. And Occupy Wall Street, same thing. Income inequality, high levels, been going on for a long time. People are up to here. And for a while, my friend, they have said, go get Washington, D.C., look at them. Look, it's the Democrats, or get them. It's their fault. But the reality is, it's where the money is, in that concentration of wealth you were talking about, that's driving the policies here. Somebody explain to me how we can pass a China currency bill last year with 350 votes, 99 Republicans, and we can't get a vote in the House of Representatives on it now. Senate just passed it. Because there are some very powerful interests that don't want it on the floor. They don't want to vote on this. They like the system just the way it is. They can locate over in China and ship their product back, and the Americans will buy it. But what's coming home to roost now is that the Americans aren't making the wages they were in the last 20 or 30 years. The consumer spending is down. Consumer confidence is down. Wages are stagnant. High levels of poverty, even in the suburbs. And so it's all coming home to roost. And I think it's time for our country and all of these disparate groups that are now coming together, police, fire, teachers, building trades, working class people. I'm telling you, in Ohio, they're coming together, and they're saying, we are the middle class, we are working America, and we are going to set the agenda.
And we can't wait. We can't